this many, lose that many. Um, I want to get guys out to play. I want to get guys innings on the mound, try guys at different positions. Um, I'm going to coach the team. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a deterrent or a benefit. I don't know, but the summer's it's a good time to get guys out there, get guys playing, get guys repetitions. So, and I think we have a lot of young guys who can really play, and guys who maybe weren't starting who can really play and can kind of step up and become starters, can become regulars and such. So the summer's going to be a good time for them.
Mm. So it's open to all returning varsity players and JV players and people who are playing.
Yeah, people who played this year for the varsity or the JV. Are welcome to come talk to me and about their availability and such, and play summer ball. That's one of the good things I think about we're a small school, but we have stuff in the summer, we have stuff in the fall, we have stuff in the spring. For guys, we have a lot of opportunities for guys to get out there and show their stuff and improve, baseball wise.
Mm. And all that leads up into the fall. Now, we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves,
right.
But in the fall we got, last year was the first Woodbat Classic, the first Gray-White Classic.
Right.
This fall, we're hoping to keep those going.
Yeah. Well,
tell us about those.
Well, they're going to keep going, and hopefully build. I don't have a date yet for the Woodbat. The Woodbat it's basically a Woodbat tournament. Last year it was done over a weekend. It's 2 games. It may go to 3 this year. That's to be determined. It will likely be early October. I should have a date on that probably within a couple weeks. Avalon and McNamara will definitely be back in it. I want to talk with their coaches to confirm a date. The Gray-White, I'm going to bump it from 3 to 5 games this year.
Best of 5. Okay.
Going to make it a best of 5. I'm probably going to do it in terms of like a Thursday to Saturday, Monday and Wednesday if necessary. For the 2 Saturday, we'll do that on campus and maybe make a bit of an event of it, cookout and that sort of thing. But yeah, the Gray-White will continue as usual. Last year, the White won it in in a best of 3. So, the fall schedule will probably take shape here in the next couple of weeks. I've got a few things out there, a few things that I'm juggling, but we'll have sort of more of a firm schedule. I would say we'll have a definitive, etched in stone fall schedule by July 1st.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't we kind of backtrack and talk about this year's graduating class?
Sure.
And they joined the ranks of former players.
Yep.
We got Nolan Kime, Tim Fennell, Greg Baroni, Don Ramos, Luke McCabe, and Billy Himpler. I believe that's
okay.
Yeah.
That 7 of them. I talked about Luke a lot. I'll kind of take them one by one. Billy Himpler was sort of one of my.
Oh, we forgot Jack Friddle. Sorry.
We did forget Jack Friddle. Billy was one of my, one of the guys I was tighter with in terms of, I would have a lot of sort of sit down talks with him and such. He was an interesting case. Came to me, I guess, I want to say it was, his junior year, maybe in the fall, and said, "Coach, I want to become a relief pitcher." He said, "I don't see myself being an outfielder on this team," and I kind of snarkily agreed with him. And but he completely transformed himself into a pitcher, and I thought that was sort of a brave idea that he had, and I kind of wish that we had a little bit more time to, I think another year might have really done him some good. And he had some really good moments, the game against Washington Christian and the game against Riverdale. He also was very good in the Wood Bat last year. Had that big hit against Avalon. So, I know he wanted to play a little bit more than he did, but I think he had some real good shining moments. And I think probably of the group that's graduating is a guy who will make a pretty good coach. Okay, he has a very good head for the game. Jack, you know, Jack was one of those guys. Last year he struggled a lot with his bat, and this year, you know, in practice and such, he really, you know, laced the ball. And I know he didn't get the opportunities in games that he would have liked, but you know, he had a pretty good career as well. He had that great play last year in the Notre Dame game. One of the things I always remember about Jack is it was never really pretty, but it was always sort of like the play was made, in the sense, you know, it was like, you know, ball be hit the third, he'd knock it down. He wouldn't catch it clean, but he'd knock it down. He'd pick it up, you know, he'd stumble a little, you know, and he'd throw it across the infield, and we'd still get the guy by a step. You know, he might have a heart attack in the process, but he made the out. Nolan, of course, you know, to go back with him, he, you know, as a sophomore year, he was, you know, freshman, sophomore, he was undersized. He was kind of thrust into action, I remember your senior year, just because, you know, we lost Sebastian and Chase really within the matter of a couple of days, who were our shortstops. And we needed an infielder, and he kind of came up that year and really solidified the infield. And then between his sophomore and junior year, really worked himself into a dominant player, a great hitter, you know, and a great infielder and pitcher. You know, he was the team MVP as a junior. You know, the funny thing too is he had a similar year this year, probably statistically. It's just the team was so much more balanced. Okay, that I think he almost just sort of blended in, which was interesting about that. But I mean, had a great career here, and you know, helped sort of build the team into, you know, what it was this year. Tim Fennell was interesting too. You remember when we went down to Florida your senior year? That was the year where we had the 16 hits in 7 games. Just an awful year hitting. And one of the guys who did hit that trip was Tim. So Tim played on the varsity as a sophomore, and looking back, it may have been a hair soon for him. You know, I think you know, what probably would have been the best thing is like a half a year of JV and then moving him up. But he played pretty well. Had some big hits that year against Wilson and Avalon. Sadly, you know, last year he got hurt midway through the year. It really turned his ankle, and you know, just it kind of never got going, and then had sort of a slow start to this year. But by the end of the year, he was one of our better hitters. I'll always feel bad about that stinking Landon game, that home run, which was just robbed from him. But when he was confident at the plate, I mean, he was a guy who could really hit. He could really track the ball down in the outfield. You know, and had some real big hits for us in some real big moments. And Greg Baroni.
Yeah, Greg Baroni.
Greg's one of my favorite guys too. One of my favorite guys to stop and talk to and such. You know, I think a guy too who in another year would have maybe been able to be more of a regular. This year, anytime he got an opportunity to hit, he laced the ball. Had that, you know, that rope in the Bishop Walsh game, okay, that kind of broke that open, you know, and, you know, helped us get the 10-run rule. Also a very good base runner. You know, he's a guy who's always ready to do that, never made a mistake. And to have a guy who, you notice a lot of high school teams, they'll have base runners who don't really know what's going on. And we take advantage of that because we'll pick the guy off. Okay, but that's one of the things with Greg is we have a base runner off the bench who does know what's going on, who knows how many outs there are. And that's a real luxury at this level, is if you have a guy like that. And he was huge in that sense this year, you know, running for some of the guys, you know, on our team who carry pianos on their back.